game number one, and maybe some more unhingedness will come out in the draft because it is already game number one champ select. Let's get in.
It's time. You've been ever so patient waiting for us to get to this one, and yes, we love having pauses. We love to have pauses in game as well, and we probably will, but until we reach that point, let's see what happens in the pick and ban phase. Looks like Fury have lost their first two here as Kanga get to lock in what they want to do instead. Going to start off with the Nocturne ban and that Belveth that we were discussing before for Nox.
Yeah, we've also seen that, the double jungle ban is really interesting. We're seeing, like, Nox's pool being taken out. Like, we were shown in, like, the graphic that you brought up, Nox's champion pool. Not really contested by Invictus, but, you know, we'll see if, like, one of them wants to take that brand, play, like, the AP jungler. You know, we'll have to see. Yeah,
it's an interesting choice, though, isn't it, right? To sort of target the junglers and their pocket picks as opposed to what is really strong on the patch, as we've seen so far. Across the few days where champions like Rumble and whatnot just basically auto-win. They've only had one ban. They've used it on Woodon, who's played 2 games of the Jax, forcing him to play something a little bit different. And with everything up and available, Telly, they decided on a first pick for Senna.
Yeah, it's honestly just like the champion is extremely strong on this patch. Like as a support with the new support items, you pretty much do an insane amount of damage with next to no resources. And you're pairing it with like Seraphine, these other strong poking 80 carries is like what makes your champ so insanely strong right now. And then we're seeing straight away the Kalista Renata, hopefully the Renata, Kalista take it back into the center, which is a super strong lane, which does really well with these double range bot lanes.
What do you prefer about the Renata pairing with Kalista as opposed to maybe a more traditional Kalista pairing like a Nautilus, for example?
I think the Renata allows the Kalista to play like quite unhinged in lane. Like you can play on the edge, play for that reset. I think the attack speed synergy with Kalista is quite insane. Also, like the ult combo, like I think Renata's ult is extremely underrated. And like as a range champ, it's kind of underrated when you get to like fly in, fly out, then also lay that on top of Renata CC.
You've got that as a free escape as well, right? If a jungle gank were to go awry. Well, that is going to be their pairing. Actually, the response from Fury, which gives us a complete understanding as to why the first pick center was that highly prioritized. They've gone for the Seraphine pairing. Now, we've seen that already coming out from Violet in the Bliss game. They're going to pair that along with the Xin. So Nox wanting a little bit more engaged. Played it in their second game up against Ion. And hopefully this could be the difference maker that gets him the advantage into Invictus.
Yeah, so we've seen the double jungle bans go towards Nox, but he's also just picked up like pretty much one of the best junglers on the patch. Paired with the center Seraphine, like he is extremely comfortable. Like you could kind of look at these 3 champions as like a Godzilla trio. Like they're really strong on this patch. They've answered back with the Wukong, which I prefer much more than the Graves. I think the Graves is like a Xin Zhao answer in isolation, but it's obviously bad into the 2 range champs that they've shown. I really like the teamfight presence that Kanga is showing.
100%. So much more cohesion with us, and it's a hits-up play, I suppose, of translating what works in solo queue into a competitive environment where it's not about necessarily just winning that 1v1 like we've been highlighting, but more about, well, what does our mid-game look like? How are we actually going to play for these objectives? What can I do in tandem with the rest of my team? Well, Kanga going to open up their accounts by denying away the Gwen, making sure that Thomasina doesn't get a carry pick that we know he is so happy to play on. As for Fury, they will get 2 bans to play around with this time, and might just look to use those on all the OP champions that are left up and available. Still Rumble, still LeBlanc, still Lucian, even though no AD carry is needed. Potentially is a one on which you could play at mid.
Yeah, if I'm Kanga here, like I want to focus on taking out anything that pairs well as like a frontline carry for Fury. Like Gwen's really good. You want to look at like more bruises top, like Thomasina's. Even his Camille could be really good this game. They decided to take out the Syndra though, so there's obviously something that like Refury has thought about that he doesn't want to play into this game. And then we have the Orianna response since Syndra's gone off the board. Not really like a strong mage to pair as like a handshake matchup. Have to see what they want to take here though.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see with all these AP sources of damage being removed, what is left up and available for these individuals to land upon. The Azir pairing is going to go quite nicely then with the Wukong for even more of that sort of teamfight presence that you were mentioning beforehand. And certainly a champion that Fury is very much at ease with.
Yeah, both teams seem to be like drafting towards the same style. It's just like very comfortable. Like you have a bit of early game, you have insane scaling, like you're really strong team fight. There's not really like any weak or strong points in like either draft. Like they're both pretty much gonna like play the same front to back style. Like see how like these team fights break down.
Do you feel like this is almost the writing on the wall of us now getting confirmation it's going to be the Azir-Corki matchup? Is it almost the case that I'm saying we know that we both want to play aggressive, we're not that refined, that's why we find ourselves tied for 0 points at the moment? Is there a world in which both teams just go for full clears, avoid each other, and we almost become LCK for a second? It's like a 40-minute game, which would be a bit of an outlier, given the current state of things here?
I would say it more so leans towards like how these matchups will play out. Like based on all these champions, we're seeing like nothing is really going to happen in these lanes. Like Seraphine is really good at neutralizing. Corki Azir, like nothing's going to happen. Cassante, like we saw what Bai was doing, like that champ's impossible to kill. Like it's just going to be a lot of like farming in the early game, like setting up around objectives, making sure we get like the grubs, the Rift Heralds, like not denying ourselves resources and just trying to stay stable.
Stability is going to be the key one here with another tank locked in that Ornn. And I suppose I double down on that point again, right? There is so much of that scaling across the board in terms of the Seraphine center giving so much mid-game power to the bruisers that are going to be diving in. You think it's already hard to try and kill a Cassante? Well, good luck when 2 supports are there behind. But then obviously once we do reach that late game, you got a Corki with a package, you've got all the ornaments being upgraded, and for these champions to become an absolute menace. So I just see this as two ways, and tell me if I'm wrong or if you see it some other way, but it's either going to be a 40, 50-minute game where teams are just like, oh, we don't know what to do, we don't know what to play for, or we're just going to be having like a kill per minute, and they're just going to be absolutely sending it.
Like, I mean, we can dream for a kill per minute, but like based on these champions, I really don't think we're going to see this game ending before like a soul point, even like an Elder. I think that it's going to be a very slow game. It's going to be like the methodical, like get your jungle camps, stack for dragon, you know, like none of these lanes are very volatile, and like it's just gonna like they're gonna need their pen items to be able to deal with like the Cassante and Ornn. It's just lots of scaling.
So from what I can tell off this bot lane, or what we discussed actually yesterday, is you said that the Seraphine's most likely going to be running, or sorry, the Sinner and Seraphine pairing, one of them is going to be running the TP. Just gives them the ability to always run back to lane, have an HP advantage, resource advantage, I suppose, across the board, as opposed to your opposition that has the combat summoners to try and, you know, push it out and sort of win it in that regard. I'm thinking, though, a Kalista and a Renata, if they get a sniff of blood, like they completely shut down what that comp's built to do, and they never get a chance, really, to hit that one-item spike to group up and say, yeah, we can do dragons now, Zin, like, we're so strong.
Yeah, like, you're pretty much spot on. Like, ideally, this like the Kalista-Renata pairing, like, they're running double combat summons against just TP, so if they do find, like, that one bit of CC, like, you will see kills happening bot, and when that bot lane gets ahead, it's pretty much unplayable for the other side since they're double range, and, you know, that's probably the one, like, strong point that Kanga has that they should be able to like snowball off if they play well.
Well, let's see if that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's load in for the very first game of the night. It's a battle at the bottom of this table as both these teams have not a single point to their name and will both be hoping to walk away with at least something for themselves. Fury up against Kanga. It's game 1 and it starts right now.
Yeah, it's also interesting, like, we didn't really point it out, that, like, Invictus and Nox both just decided to go for, like, the teamfight champions. They didn't want to pick the Assassins, you know, they did have the option, but it's good to see that, like, they're demonstrating growth and that they can be flexible and play, like, more for the team.
And that's when I suppose you ask the question, which, well, obviously, we'd have to ask the players themselves to figure out the answer too, but as opposed to, like, has it been a week of realizing, hey, these champions don't actually work as well in competitive? Or was it the case that we're versing another player that wants to probably be very similar in their playstyle, so I need to go for like the Wukong, the Jarvan, whatever it may be, as you see in this game here. Actually, a bit of an interesting move here. Going for a bit of a level 1 invade, not as a full commit, but just 3 members going for this enemy red. They do know it's being taken, though, Fury, as they place that ward that the observers are so lovely top of the show. So this will be denied, and it does put the pressure on for Nox to say, all right, well, are you going to go cross-map and try and take ours?
Yeah, Nox doesn't really want to be top lane in this game. Like, he can't really get anything done, but to be fair, like, nothing could be really done on the other parts of the map either. I think that, like, this is a good invade by Kanga. Like, if they control the wave well, they can deny bot or even, like, set up for kills. We'll see that Nox is actually crossing early. We'll see if Invictus does spot this out.
You're going to realize that it's gone now, and obviously with the vision still revealing him, it's going to be Invictus looking to try and take on to this camp, as Nox is going to showcase that, well, I'm on the way, and, you know, as much as we want to try and fall clear, we're just going to try and punish you. Instant flash spray from that one, but the root will connect, but too far out of range. So he'll just get a bit of a parting gift, which is you have no HP now. Have fun farming your jungle camps.
Yeah, Nox knew that like he wants to end up bot side. He definitely doesn't want to be top, but Invictus is really happy with this. Like, he's just going to go back to his jungle and clear upwards. We will probably see Nox if this isn't a kill bot. I mean, man, jeez. Sure, guys, it's Azir versus Corki.
Look, I tell you what, these two, well, Reefia in particular was like saying, you know, the vibes are on. I'm having a good time. I mean, I was just going to say vibes twice in a row. That's how keen I am for this matchup. But they're going at it. They're saying we're not worried about late game scaling. Every lane is having a crack at it right now, Tally, because even Wooden and Tomasino find themselves with blinking health bars.
I take it all back. It's the LCO. Like, we fight.
Doesn't matter if your team or your champion is good at 30 minutes. You get first blood right here and right now. And you couldn't ask for better. As it's Kurek that picks it up. And that means that that bot lane is going to really look to try and slow down the pace and the tempo that the Sinner and Seraphine can provide.
That's exactly what you need from this comp. You need your strong lanes to be strong. And as I was trying to say earlier, Nox, like, he needs to invade the top side to be able to, like, play. Invictus decides not to contest, though. He's completely given his top chance. He wants to stay around bot side. Maybe even play for a dive on a stacked wave. We'll have to see.
Well, let's run back to the replay, because this is what we missed out on, right? So it all starts with the cannon minion, and they just get a sniff and say, well, there's the handshake. Easy as you like it.
Yeah, there's just that one bit of CC that lands. It's just straight kill. Like, you can just commit double flashes always and just find that kill.
Beautiful handshake, and yeah, well orchestrated to realize that literally now there's not a single summoner available in the bot lane. The only flash will be there for Kurek. Now Nox looking to set into top lane now, see if he can try and bait anything out of Woodon, as in jumps Thomasito to try and sell the play towards him. How does Woodon find himself out of this one? Does he go for the kill? He does! He doesn't care about the gank. He says, if I go down, I'm going down swinging.
Tomasino doesn't know about the OG OP top laner. The original Cassante.
Ah, good old Ornn. What a champion. Deceiving amounts of burst that came through the brutal proc, no doubt. Enough for Tomasino to realize, why have I oversold that play?
It's quite insane to find a trade there. Like, everything is going right for Kanga this game. They're finding gold where they shouldn't. They're doing well snowballing where they should be. It's really good job in the early game from them.
What a sit on what happens in the bot lane, because that's, in my mind at least, the most volatile of them all to keep our eyes on. Mid lane and top lane, whilst they have things scrapping, you'd imagine for the most part should be pretty content with how things are fanning on out. Handshake very close there from Kurek to try and bring back Hooper. Rita was a fair bit away, so might not have been a chance to find another kill again, but I imagine we're going to find ourselves staring at the spot lane for the majority of this one.
Yeah, we need to pay attention to what the junglers do here, because this is what both teams struggled with in week 1, was the bot lane pressure was just not there for either side. We see Invictus running down to bot because he knows the wave is frozen and Fury need to walk up to be able to push this. Nox is very far away though and he's unable to help. We'll see if they do flash onto the Seraphine.
Oh! Flash there from Kurek, brings them both together, and that is perfect. A stealth cast to the root, but it does not matter. Invictus takes down one. The Rent to slow a second. Findo on his debut. Welcome to the roster. In comes Fury. That's mine for the taking. And with 4 members involved, Assist Gold goes crazy.
It's as easy as that. They just played the lane well. They let the wave push into them because Seraphine, as she wants to farm, like she's going to naturally AoE with her Q. So the wave's going to push in. They froze. They pulled down their jungler and they found 2 easy kills.
Really nicely done, really well orchestrated, and finds himself in a massive lead as a result of that one. They'll be able to pick up the dragon. You'd have to imagine with it down to 50% already, even despite Nox poking his head into the area. Invictus isn't going to peel away from it anytime soon. They will have the inline track to rotate their bot lane up here as well. And that would mean very much on the pace is this first dragon. You said that you reckon this game would be one that, well, we should be looking towards a soul point, even an Elder, to really be the conclusion.
I take it all back. I think the amount of snowballing that's going on right now is quite insane, because it's also like, if one of these comps gets ahead, they run over the game, because it's so easy to do objectives with a tank and an Azir, or like a Corki and a Cassante. It's very easy to take over the games where you can like dive with a strong front line, or like set up around objectives and pick very easily.
Speaking of pick, talk to me about some of these rune choices. Is there anything that stands out for you in particular? I mean, I look at the mid lane, obviously Corki, fairly proficient with the first strike, much like a Jace, for example, but for Fury, does the fleet footwork surprise you?
Yeah, Fleet is just like a new addition to Azir after they made the change to his W that now applies on hit. That's why you see like the Nash's Lisbane build. As Azir in lane, like you just get access to like a really strong lane rune in Fleet because you just order the champion with your W, which is really easy, and get that full heal proc.
So what happens here? Will there be any kind of procking happening in the top lane as the Brittle goes out, the knockback away, the flash, the survival, and then the fade away from Chirp. Hits him with a rocket and reminds him that Corki is a very strong champion. Tomasino underneath the tier 2. At only 7 minutes in, looks to try and go all out, but is unable to find a second.
That's exactly what Fury needed. Like they secured the grubs and they found the kill with the mid lane roam. It's really good from Chirp there.
See what happens now. It's a massive wave crashing on the top lane here for Tomasino with a cannon to get it all done. Let's look in the bot lane once again. We've got a replay here. What have we missed?
Yeah, it just looks like they've overextended again, and like you just can't walk up into the combo here. You have no combat summoners, they're extremely strong. Like you kind of just have to play the respect and like stack as much as you can without letting these guys snowball. Because we all know like how dangerous this combo can be when they get ahead.
It certainly can be, and a Kalista ahead is certainly one to be feared, and even if there are a fair bit of CC on the enemy side to try and slow them down and make the movement of a Kalista feel wonky, it doesn't really matter if they've got enough damage to shred you down before anything comes to life. I suppose the saving grace of Fury is that they do still have those double supports to try and bolster their bruises once a fight were to break out on a bigger scale, but the question for me at least, I'm hoping that you can answer would be, well, when is that moment? Is it an item spike? Is it a particular objective?
I think it's just all around Corki, because like pretty much regardless how much Senna Seraphine dies, they're going to do their job. They're going to like enable the rest of their team to be able to perform better in team fights. When Corki hits these item break points, like the 2 items, 3 items, like he's going to be doing the same damage. This champ can solo carry like objective setups and team fights with the package, so we'll have to see if Chirp is locked in.
Let's see if he is locked in, if he's playing around that and you know, very conscious of that being their point, their power spike, if you will, to try and work their way towards. Going to go for a bit of a roam now is Chirp. As he spots out Wooden, with only 1 Void Grab still remaining, 2 being taken by Fury already, as he Valkyries in, looking to try and apply some damage on towards the Ornn. The 3-point strike, knocking him up, getting him down low, down to 20%. In goes the Wind, becomes Lightning, and the kill to take him down. Nox with a second to his name. Perfect KDA. And looking to try and get just a little bit further ahead of Invictus.
It's just good foresight by Fury to rotate their bot lane mid. They know that like when they show 3 numbers top side, like their bot lane is susceptible to being dove. As Corki is TPing here, he might have package though.
He could be in a lot of trouble actually. He might just TP into this one and find himself in a lot of trouble. Out goes the wave, not enough to try and take him on down, but a smash against the wall. Kurak lives, Rilla survives, and that's a really, really punishing TP.
See if they do the same thing mid though.
Did the same thing happen twice? Well, this champion has even more mobility. Can shuffle away, can use the Emperor's Divide, might be forced to try and do it. Out goes the Encore, goes completely wide and flashes to the safety, so there is no trade at all.
I was trying to hype up Fury for respecting the fact that they could get 3-man dove if they showed bot there, but you know, it happened anyway. It's such a shame.
It just did not matter. No trade between these mid laners. I mean, Thomasino's already proxying waves like he's playing Singed in a solo queue game right now. He doesn't seem to care, playing the Cassante right now. Back to base, picks up the Sunfire, makes life even easier now for him to push and crash and do as he pleases. But yeah, that sucks if the Azir can get away, but the Corki falls just a little bit behind.
No, it's not too bad though. He did end up picking up the wave, which is like good. You know, he denied the push onto the turret. Unfortunately, he gave up his life, but like he's still getting gold at the end of the day.
Still getting gold. That's what matters. Still farming up that Manamune and making sure that one evolves at a good timing. As it stands right now, it's all about the spot lane. It's the lane I was interested in. It's the lane that is providing us with the goods so far. Really, 2-0-3 with the only bounty in the game, and all of the tier 2 boots. And when we talk about power spikes, it always seems a little bit funny when you talk about like boots being a power spike, but like Yone, Yasuo, Kalista for me are the main 3.
Yeah, movement is a really underrated combat stat in the game. I'd honestly say, like, to me, movement and vision are probably the 2 strongest combat stats in the game, more than damage, because having the jump on someone or be able to rotate quickly to an objective or a fight is like extremely underrated. And this is why you see in high elo solo queue, lots of people just rush boots so they're able to leave their lane and rotate the fights quicker.
Yeah, Moby Boots broken for a reason on those broken champions like the Alistair, for example. Here we go for the second dragon, then picked up by Kanga as the map will transform in just a second. An Ocean Rift is what we're going to be playing for. Fancy that, eh? A late game with all this sustain. That certainly could be a bit of an issue for Fury if Kanga were able to acquire all 4 to their name.
I don't think we've had a bad soul since I've been on.
You just got the luck of the draw.
I'll just bless teams. You get it, guys. If I'm on the cast, prioritize dragons. I promise you oceans and mountains.
It's the tally soul point. Oh, bot lane. I know in a lot of trouble right now. Forced to flash away. Doesn't have the ultimate, and that could be his demise. Out comes the Dawning Shadow. The survival from the shield could have just been enough. But Invictus turns the tables around, makes it an unfair fight. Not even matchup, really, as they look to try and crash this wave as quickly as they can. Hooper jumping into the shadows, trying to hide and make sure that he cannot be taken on down. But Invictus says, well, I can break that stealth in just a heartbeat. In with a Cyclone, flash into R2 again. And it does not matter. In with the TP comes Thomasino. Out goes that hostile takeover. And in the Encore, it's AoE ultimates galore. Now sounding the Ornn ult, knock him up, bring him down, and crash him up in the air as he gets dragged across the wall, taken on down with the assistance of that turret. And Kanga have just been wiped.
Oh, I cannot believe they were able to turn that around. It was a huge team fight out of Nox. He did so much damage, split up the fight, and then Tomasino just comes in and cleans everyone up. This is such a good position to be in as Cassante right now.
And how crazy is it that you see, literally, they go back to base and how many items they must have purchased as a result of that one. They must have been so strong. But for, you know what, it's just to kill him to his center. Easy.
As you can see in the replay, like, Hooper dies, blows his flash, but it's whatever. They know that Kanga have blown all their ults here as they're TPing in. They have positioning on them. They're cutting out the Renata ult. Seraphine lands a really nice ult, but you see Nox go in here and just does so much damage while also just splitting the fight up. And they're just cleaning up from all sides. They come from 3 angles, everyone's doing the damage they need to, and it's just easy picking for these chances to point the game.
Certainly looked to be that way, wasn't it? Very much a close quarter combat fight and easy for then the AoE of a Corki, but most importantly, the Bruisers got a chance to have a little bit of uptime to try and take down as many members as possible. And with that respawning, now been able to pick up a whole host of Void Grubs to their name as well. That's going to be really, really helpful when it comes to setting up for some of these sieges. And yeah, looking to try and open up the map more for them to have some more breathing room to try and run these members down.
Now, Skimmy, let me paint a picture for you, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're playing 80 carry. You've absolutely destroyed your lane, right? You're having the time of your life, okay? And you have you look at Clissa's item inventory, you're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of strong. And then you rock up and you see Cassante's items and you're just like, alright guys, I'm not doing damage at all.
It is a bit of a concern. It's very much like our champion conundrum. It's you in a suit with the question mark ping over your head. You're smiling, but you're not sure why. You're thinking, lane should be good. This should have been great. But that's a Frozen Heart and a Sunfire only 14 minutes in. And the Blade of the Rune King is just not going to be enough. So I think we might see them relegating themselves to say, you know what, Dragon is all we'll fight for right now. Because for Fury, it's a case of we've just taken the grubs. And we're going to take the Herald straight away after.
Yeah. To Kanga's like saving grace is like they're not out of the game after that team fight. You know, it's more so like the game is back to an even state. Cassante doesn't have any MR yet, which is like the one good thing, is he will still do damage to this guy. I hope that Fury itemizes into the Leandries next, just to make sure that he's doing as much damage as he can to the double front line coming out of Fury. But we'll have to see as Wudon is getting ganked. He's
getting ganked also by a Seraphine as well. How scary is that? Imagine Seraphine jungle coming to gank. He'd be absolutely mortified. He's already gone for that flash. Encore is available if he so desires. He's going to try and go for the root. Just clips him with the very end. The extension by using Nox as a proxy to make sure it worked. But this is the price they're paying for it. Yes, you can dive our Ornn. Honestly, I don't think Ornn really cares if he's 1-5. He's still going to be a valuable member, even with those ornaments. The trade-off is that Kanga take towers and try and open up the map. But it's not to be outdone by the fact that Fury did get the Herald, and we'll say we'll get a tier 2 as well.
Cancelled the base.
Certainly did, and it means that there's no Renata to back up Reela right now. This is a bit of an awkward situation for the Kallistas to find themselves. They're still going to go for it. Same for Fury. Empress Divine knocks him into the tower. Invictus makes sure that he will die with that Cyclone, but Fury will fall on down. It's a double for Nox. There's Chirp. Unfortunately, not able to run away.
Still really good. Like, I haven't seen much of the Wukong on this patch, but I believe with the items that are out right now, if you have a 4-kill Wukong, you're very comfy.
It's feeling pretty strong. I mean, Titanic Hydra for one, Thunder Sky for the others. I mean, they're telling you that, hey, we can play these on-roll champions that fit the meta, but we're still going to play them like carries. They're putting in a solid shift so far.
We'll see if Kanga want to opt into doing the Dragon here. They are down ultis, but they do have a bit of temper before the Corki respawns. He does have TP, and his package might be up. We'll see if they want to play for the team fight. I do believe they should just do this Dragon and get out if they can, because I'm pretty sure without ults they are going to get destroyed.
Yeah, they don't want to get mogged, that's for sure. They're going to try and rush in, rush out, and get the hell out of dodge as that Corki is boosting down the lane, but too little, too late. Findo much more interested in crashing that mid wave and saying, well, if you go for the Dragon, if you're all in on that one idea, we'll make you pay elsewhere. They've managed to accrue, what, 4 turrets to 2? It's a pretty successful passage of play there from Fury to try and actually take the lead.
Yeah, Kanga is sitting very comfy right now as well. Like, they have 3 dragons. Like, they can say, like, all right, you guys can have the next 3. Like, we can scale. Or, like, they can fight the next one and get that soul point. And having an Ocean Soul on your Wukong or one comp is going to be quite insane.
Well, let's see now, what is the next play? What are they hoping to try and find now? Because you can imagine both Hooper and Findo with an item to their name are just screaming, let's group up, let's fight, let's keep inviting Kanga into these skirmishes, because we feel strong. And we know that if we can jump on Reela, he's got no flash, he's only got Cleanse to rely on, but Cleanse is not going to get you out of all the damage and that a Cassante and a Zinc can look to try and not only soak themselves, but then provide too. Out goes the Call of the Forge God. Enough to force out a flash from Seraphine, but the root connects with Reela. The handshake doesn't connect on this occasion. then the one-man Cyclone onto Nox. He goes to the Crescent Guard. It doesn't matter. They just run inside and wave him goodbye.
Extremely overconfident from Nox there. Like, he doesn't have the flash and decides to go in. Like, when you get on top of a Wukong like that, you're not moving. If he wants to pop that ult, like, you are staying in place.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. And unfortunately, it just fuels the fire that makes Invictus even stronger. As he, no doubt, working his way towards that second item in just a few moments. But it's all about looking to try and attend to these side lanes now. You mentioned before that no magic resist have been picked up here by Tomasino. He's got the magic mental now, but it's looking as if the response is to match him with the Azir.
Yeah, Azir's just going to like sit comfy against the tank. He's just going to keep farming, keep scaling. He doesn't really want to participate in fights right now. Like, neither does Corki. Like, they kind of just want to keep getting the items. That's why you see, like, both junglers grouping around the mid lane, like abusing the Kalista Renata, the Stennis Seraphine. Like, these champs want to be like fighting now. They've hit their power spikes.
So a bit of a different build coming up from the Corki. Went for the Menemune for the mana you'd have to imagine, right? They're susceptible to sort of sustain issues, but actually then rushing the Malignant second. What do you rate of this one compared to what we've seen in the past, maybe like Ludens or say like a Leandri's?
It's pretty much the same idea as like the old like Leandri's Corki build. Like you get the AP item, it's just Malignant synergizes really well with Corki. Like you get the rocket cooldown. You pretty much get a pull for a little bit of damage on every single rocket you hit, which is like just an extra bit of chip damage. I think like the ultimate haste is like the main thing. Like when Corki can just keep firing rockets, like everyone knows how much damage that big one starts doing towards the end of the game.
So you wouldn't say it changes how you approach the champion, not doing anything different. You're not weaving in less auto attacks, for instance. It's still very much like a case of your rockets are going to be insane.
I say it's the same at like this point, the 2-item break point, but like the rest of the build is very different to what the old Corki build would be. You go for a much more like bruiser, like tanky Corki build, so you can play a bit more aggressive because you do have items that give you a decent amount of health and defensive.
Let's see then how aggressive Chirp decides to be in this one. We know in the past he certainly has been one to try and farm up that damage per minute number. It's usually been at the cost of him falling on down though, because he's been too overzealous to try and get that high amount of DPS. But let's see if he can reel it in tonight and find a way to out-DPS the superstar in Azir as they race to the finish line to try and scale even harder than the other one. Flash is starting to become available again, and yeah, fight might be on.
I do believe, even though we can't see on the minimap, that Corki is holding package in base. I assume he's going to pick this up for Dragon, which is probably going to be extremely hard for Kang to deal with when it comes to the team fight. I would honestly like to see something like an Ornalt thrown at Corki just to force him to package away. I think it's very hard to play like these kind of short-range frontline comps into Corki when he has his package available.
Well, that's the big concern, right, with Kalista, is you can be so insanely strong, but then if mid-game comes around or like the big team fights happen and you're getting outranged, you've got too many bruises in your face, it all becomes nothing. I remember a game a hot minute ago, must have been a few years ago, when Violet was playing the Kalista. I think it was like 10-0 in lane. It was like absolutely crazy fed, but then just struggled in the mid-game because there was just too many ways to collapse on them. So let's see if Rila finds himself in a similar boat here, despite having such a successful start to this one. He's got the Rage Blade now, so incredibly strong to try and rip through those tanky members as they stare down Tomasino right now. The handshake once again just out of range, very close, but just tickles him on the exit.
You know, a bit aggressive there, honestly. I think it's really hard to find the pick onto Cassante. Honestly, from Kanga, I would like to see them not posture for this Dragon anymore after blowing that Ornalt. I think that, like, the game is a bit too flip right now, and, like, giving this Dragon doesn't really change your game state. Like, I would like to see them just go topside right now, drop vision, trade the Dragon off.
Well, let's see if the Dragon is the play, because as you saw then from our lovely observers, Chirp has picked up the package. They know exactly what they're playing for. That is the big standoff for this Soul Point play. They're all in for this one. As much power being acquired as the Kanik comes on through now for Tomasino to have a beautiful little spell shield. Going to be in an absolute powerhouse is this Cassandra to try and contend with. And out they go to start off this Dragon. You have to imagine, surely, Tally, that Fury just take this one for free and Kanga show a fair bit of respect, unless Fury misstep.
Yeah, this is like ideal setup as well. We have Nox following the Dragon, and then everyone else is just playing goalie. We have like Poke coming down, CC, like they have to walk past the package as well. Kanga is still posturing for this, so they want the fight.
See if they can find anything on the exit now, because the Dragon has been taken, so no chance to get that early 22-minute Soul Point. As they go, is Chirp with the Soul Point, or rather the package to try and get the kill, and he has sniped out Invictus down for 30 seconds. The flip back onto a second as Rila looks to try and answer back. He's surviving, he's cleansing, but he's still outputting the damage. In goes Reed Fury with what was looking like a massive multi-knockback. Takes back two, looks to find resets, and that's what Rila's doing.
Rila
flashing onto find those head. He'll get another onto the Dawning Shadow. He's still going. Actually gets the reset on that bailout, still fighting. But Tomasino's a raid boss. You can't take that as Cassante, and he'll do it all.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing like that little bit of teamfight execution gap. Like, that's just the Ornalt diff, honestly. Like, I think if they had that ult there, like, that fight is completely different. Well played to Chirp though to find that pick onto Invictus before the fight even started. He blew you can see straight away, like he blows the Wukong ult. They postured really well here, like they got the dragon and they turn for the fight, like they're playing front to back. They, you know, just execute very well. I think this is well played by Fury. Even though Rila did his best, he really did his best to clutch this team fight. It just wasn't enough.
He had that montage music playing in the back of his headphones there as he was focusing on this one. This is disgusting from Ryu. Could have been so much more, quite honestly, apart from the fact that some good flashes got themselves out of harm's way. But he seized the moment. They tried to go for this one all in, quite honestly. But the fact is, we mentioned it before the fight even happened, that Tomasino, how do you take him down? He's just doing it all.
Honestly, yeah, Xante is just doing way too much of these fights. He's just finding angles. I think it's really nice that and the discipline he's having to hold his ult for that long and go all out when it really matters. Like I think that a lot of Xantes will just blow their ult straight away when they have no cooldowns and just like be like, all right, montage time. But I think it's nice that he's holding it that long and he's just finding so much value from it.
He has to have some of the most gold in the game. I'd be very curious to see where he ranks. Surely top 3 at this point behind the mages. You'd have to imagine. Let's see what happens here in the mid lane as we do bring up that total gold graph. Now, yeah, Tomasino, the most in the game. That's a sight for sore eyes, isn't it? When the mages, the hyper carries, don't get their chance to be the #1 fan. Rila, what are you doing there? He needs a kill. He needs it now, but he will be denied as Nox burns an ultimate and shrugs off all that damage from afar, and that could not come at a better time for Fury as they can look at Baron now.
Yeah, that's that Corki's Inzal burst. Just like a rocket lands and your health is just disappearing. We'll see if Invictus is able to position to steal this though, because I feel like this Baron does swing this game.
How does Invictus look to try and play this one? They're going to summon a ward, get it destroyed, and put one down again. Slow and steady is the mantra here for Fury as Tomasino looks to try and zone them all away on his own. He is the bodyguard, but he can get it done. Even in all-out mode, he is not a squishy member whatsoever. He goes in, and he just removes Invictus. There is no smite steal now. Surely Fury feeling even more confident in a 3v5 to guarantee this one. And I tell you what, Tally, they are turning this game on its head.
Yeah, honestly, like well played. Nice disciplined Baron. We see Tomasino playing goalie, like everyone's positioning over the wall to poke Wukong when he ults up. They don't get the Baron into smite range. They take him out and they secure it. It's easy as that.
It certainly seems to be that way. One misstep and a complete punishment becomes the real result of that one. We find ourselves, what now, up by 8,000 gold. Our Fury sitting in a really comfortable position. Only 25 minutes into this one. And I think now you look at Kanga and say, okay, you've made it maybe a little bit too easy for him to understand what your game plan is, because at a position like this, how do they ever actually get to the dragon to even complete their soul point now?
Yeah, see, this is the thing that I said is like a saving grace to Kanga. Like, they don't need to go to the dragon as well. Like, they have all this time to scale. They're not forced to leave their base to contest the soul point. That's the one good thing about getting all these dragons early. Like, the Azir should be able to hold the base as well from sieges, and they're still not, like, out of it. Even though the gold lead is so big, they should be able to find, like, the gold, find the resources to be able to get more items on Azir, because I feel like he's the saving grace of this game.
See if Fury can be just that as a 1v1 takes place between top laner and jungler, but in England comes Sherp and says this is never going to be that fair 1v1. I'm a Fed Corki, I'm level 16, and I'm going to make myself unstoppable now. 7-2 and 7, massive encore onto 3 members. They are all charmed up and unable to play their characters, but it does not matter. Out of the charm and into the ban, because they take them all down, they burn them, they shred them, they light them up like a Christmas fire. Double kill found here by Kanga. They're going to try and do as much as they can. Underneath their mid-tier 2 is a shutdown. All importantly, goes into the hands of that Azir. But look at Chirp, the only one still standing here. And he's full HP.
They made it out as well. This Renata W is doing an insane amount in these fights.
Oh!
Extremely close. As you can see, Corki's like, he's ding 16. I assume he has his Shojin when he recalls as well, so he's pretty much online. This champion's going to be doing an insane amount of damage, and Kanga needs to respect this. All he has to do for the rest of this game is just hold his package for the dragon respawns and just threaten, and he can easily 1v5 this game.
So we talk about for Kanga how susceptible they are if the likes of you know, the Azir or the Kalista fall on down. What do you think is the biggest concern for Fury? Is it as simple as saying, well, if Chirp's gone, they're out of it? But I look at it and say, well, if Tomasino's down, even scarier.
I would say, yeah, definitely if Chirp gets caught in a CC combo, like, he can get one shot. He used his packages very good though. We blew the Corki package with Ornal as I wanted, so now the fight is a bit more even. We'll have to see how it goes.
Let's see, will this one be even? It's looking like a 50-50 right now. One team looking for the soul point, the other going to try and deny it. Ask another 5 minutes into this game. The soul point has been picked up. Ocean Soul like that. Invictus' clone is going to be first of all. Drag back, no chance to try and dash across that wall. And the jungle tax has been paid. I've done my job. I've secured the objective for my team. 35 seconds to think about their next move.
They're happy with that. Kanga's happy with that. They got away with murder. They have to get to back to their base, clean up these waves, and make sure they don't lose any more, though.
How much can Fury get done within the next 20 seconds of play? Can he look to try and open up one of these inhibitors? The Baron has already expired, and these waves get trimmed ever so easily with the likes of Nazir and Kalista there to try and do their job, but they have to say, we can't stand up to this one. We'll show a fair bit of respect. We'll say, well, we get our soul point, you can have an inhibitor, we'll settle for that.
Yeah, I mean, they get the inhibitor. Kanga is not too worried about that, though. Like, mid lane is so easy to farm. It's just a bit more gold for them, honestly, at this point in the game. But still, Fury were able to find something even while losing the dragon, which is a little bit of a consolation prize. The items are coming through, though. We do see the Thunder Sky and Corki, which is interesting, but, you know, the item is a bit overtuned, so to be fair, like, just build it on everyone at this point. I think they're still sitting happy, though.
Let's see what happened in the mid lane once again. All starts with a handshake that just gets cleansed out of immediately there by Hoover. They continue on, and this was a disgusting charm.
Also, this is a really, really nice Renata ulti. The moment Seraphine flash ulted forward, Renata ult lands on 3 people, denies any damage going forward there. And they just do a really good job at kiting us out. Like, as you can see, the Renata ult goes onto, the Renata W goes onto Kurak, and he just survives as Nox dies to the tower, which denies any more cleanup.
And that reset, so impactful. It's happened so many times. Actually, we're looking at another one. Hoop is dead on my screen. Not sure how that one's happened. No doubt we'll be going into another replay in just a second to figure out what went wrong there.
Just waddled in toward by himself and found 3 people.
Not the ideal situation. Maybe a bit of a competition right now will put on as to who can find themselves at a bigger deficit. 1-7 versus 0-6, but both these champions are still going to find impact. I mean, we're level 14 now, so those ornaments are starting to come online for the rest of the team to really enjoy. Could be quite impactful, actually, because the likes of Reela has built that Terminus. Wonder if he decides to go for the Jack Show as well and just become super tanky, and then have the Bailout on top of that and say, good luck killing me now.
Yeah, more than likely he'll end up going for the Jack Show. Like, at this point, he's not really like the hyper carry. He's like, it's all in like a Z. I think Wukong honestly is going to start doing a lot more damage than Kalista. I think if he plays like that pseudo frontline, it's really good for how his team wants to function.
Upgraders come through for Fury now. It's a little bit of extra power to try and contest what is potentially the next major fight. 30 seconds on that Baron. I think it's too early to say it's game ending at this point. It still feels like there's a lot left in the tank for this game. But with a inhibitor already down on the side of Kanga, it's them having to showcase a bit of a defensive strategy. Welcome in Fury, try and prevent them from hitting level 18, and try and prevent the game just ending right now.
Yeah, Chirp just wants to aim all his poke at the Azir. Like, he knows that Azir's all their wave clear, and like as he's autoing, like it's very easy to land rockets as he's not able to like move in between autos. And these big rockets start to hurt at this point.
They certainly do. I mean, right on the money you were. You saw those rockets only being aimed at the Azir. He's gone back to base as a result of this one. The Baron has now spawned, and Fury are going to showcase that they have superior vision control, so Kanga don't know where to go. They're going to show a great deal of respect and to stay within their inner sanctum for the meantime. Out goes Yuan ultimate. They think they found a pick, but he hasn't hit the second headbutt. And that is a truck going the wrong direction.
It's a thick wall. Very thick wall.
Oh no.
Also, I want to touch on this before. Is the Nash's upgrade called the Baron's Gift? I've never seen that before.
Well, I saw that pop up and I thought, I've never heard this in my life, but hey, you learn something new every day.
See if they do want to contest this Baron, though. It does look like it.
But he does. Very similar setup to last time for this Baron. He's probably looking to try and zone them all away on his own. He tried to steal it. He tried to be heroic because he flashed Invictus, but he lost to the steady hands of Nox. Pumped up as 4 they go. So Messino drags back 2. Unstoppable goes Wood on. He gets charmed. And Fury's looking to try and do it all. He's knocked back 2. He's found an instant double kill as a result. And in tandem and Reela, they are getting it done. Flash cleanse. Kill everybody on site. You'll get the Baron, but there'll be nobody left standing with this buff. It's only Hooper for the meantime. And for a second, Tally, I wondered if they'd even dive him.
Beautiful work from both carries coming out of Kanga there. Like, Fury doing a really good job to kite and put out as much even as possible, but Fury just comes up with that huge zero, swoops back almost the entire team straight into the hands of Reela. He's got a full stack lethal tempo, and he just does so much damage there.
So much damage. Once again, let's look just how close this Baron steal was. I saw 1194, so it never looked like it was anything too crazy, but ultimately here, Fury feeling too strong with the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I honestly thought, like, as this fight was going, like, this is pretty much the sealed deal for Fury, but, like, Fury once again just lands the ult, splits up the fight perfectly, and, like, Corki can't really work through front lines at this point. Like, he wants to hit squishy, so, like, once Ornn is in front of him, like, he is just not going to be able to do the damage that he wants to.
Yeah, didn't have enough time to try and ramp up into that fight, right? Didn't get to really poke his way through all of that pain and punishment, and ultimately they will lose a major amount of those Baron buffs. Now, the interesting thing is going into that team fight, they were down a fair bit of gold. They are still down, I think, 8,000, if my memory is correct. But, I mean, we've always talked about this in the past when an Ornn is in the game, especially a Soul Point. In my mind, at least with 3 or 4 ornaments, as well as the Ocean Soul, that's probably enough to equate to that 8k difference.
Do you remember what level Ornn was?
I want to say 15, 16.
Okay, so he's got like 3, let's say like 3 to 4 upgrades going out. I think it's like on average like 1 to 1.5k gold per upgrade in stats, which is like pretty much closing that gold gap as much as possible. So the gold that we see on screen is probably the lead is a lot less than what it is showing. So
Definitely deceptive.
Yeah, I think that they're feeling comfy right now. Like I think Azir is finally hitting his breakpoints. Like you see the Crypt Bloom, like he's got Pen, so he's able to deal damage to the Sante. The underrated heal as well is going on in these fights. Like it can be, because I believe it's like 400 to 500 on like all your allies, so that's a nice like 1.5k heal like the whole team, which is kind of OP now that you think about it.
Would add up for sure.
I think both teams are at a point where like they're sitting pretty, like they have all their power spikes. It's just like it's all about executing at this point.
It certainly is, and I think Rifu is trying to make a strong argument that he deserves an MVP for this series. I mean, already this performance on the Azir has been pretty game-defining at moments. The ability to try and find multi-man ultimates on repeat is certainly no easy feat, but the Renata for me has found infinite value. It's been this case of who can get the better AoE ult between himself and the Seraphine.
Yeah, this Renata pick is doing so much work in these fights. Like this, the ult plus like the combo onto Kalista with like just enabling her to so much attack speed. You can even throw into Azir. Like the synergy on both carries is like doing so much work.
Well, back into the game. Small lag issue, very quickly resolved. We love that one. So let's see what happens now. What did I say? I thought it was going to be either a 40-minute game or a kill per minute. Well, we've definitely had more kills per minute. Maybe we just actually hit both. Maybe we just play Skimmy's bingo and we're just hitting both.
Okay, I have pretty much been wrong about everything in this game when it comes to who is winning, but I did say this game would end at Elder. So please, guys, do me justice.
Okay, guys, this is the one. It's up in 15 seconds. Ocean Soul versus a very scary Corki. Now, Fury do have the inline track for it right now. They are positioned in the Dragon Pit, or in the river, I should say. They've been the first ones to deploy to figure out where Kanga are looking to try and attack from.
Package is on Corki again, but the one saving grace is they can't really just rush Elder. You know, it's got the insane amount of health. They are paying for the base, though. Maybe we might see a base race happening right now.
Certainly could do. This could be a very interesting circumstance because they can't just rush in, take their mid inhibitor once again and go straight towards the end. This puts us in a really awkward situation. Bot lane inhibitor being looked at right now. They're going to try and go for this one whilst the Elder is being done. They do need to get back to base and they'll have to burn TPs at the same time too. One is down on towards those Nexus turrets. The Elder's being played. I have seen this many times before. The TP comes in. Is it too little? Is it too late? The knockback, the shove. It doesn't matter. The heal's coming on down. Dawning Shadow trying to overlap with Furak. He's doing whatever he can, but it does not matter. Good luck with that Elder. Your base is gone.
The Nexus for Elder Dragon trade. I have seen this way too many times in the LCO, Skimmy. That has to hurt. That has to hurt.
That would feel so devastating to know that you've just beaten them at the Baron. You've been down so much gold. You've got all this power, but you've tunneled on that one objective. Your win condition was the Dragon, and you've gone there every single one of them. Out of nothing, Fury snagged the win with a really confident shot call. Let's see if Kanga can bring it back.